Hello friends and welcome to our channel Indian Intellectual. Friends, if you have not subscribed the channel till now, I would strongly urge and recommend you to subscribe it right now. It's your channel. So if you don't subscribe, then who else will? Please subscribe, I am waiting. Thank you very much for listening to me and subscribing the channel. Also don't forget to press the bell icon so that you get the notifications as and when the content is being uploaded on our channel. Friends, today we have with us a very special guest, a guest who has been able to decode and master the skill which is very important in our lives. A skill which is required no matter which sphere of life you are talking about and what you do. Whether you are a businessman, an entrepreneur, a working professional, a corporate employee, a student, or for that matter, a homemaker. Whatever work you do, you need this skill very much to get along, move ahead, and be successful. We all want to be successful in our lives. So this skill plays a crucial role. Now, some of you might be thinking, what is this skill that I am speaking so highly about? And what is this skill which is required by almost everyone? So let me break the suspense. Friends, I am talking about sales skills. So I am sure since I have now revealed, most of you would agree with me that sales skills are very, very important in every sphere of our life to be successful and to reach the pinnacle of excellence. Now, some people say that doing sales is very difficult, while others say it is the easiest job in the world. You might ask, which is correct? See, each one to his opinion, but if you ask my view, if you know how to do a sale correctly, then it is the easiest thing in the world. But if you don't know why, you might find it even tougher than the quantum mechanics. Now, we don't need quantum mechanics in everyday life is another story, and which we will discuss some other time. Now, this brings to back to our topic of today and why I was talking so highly about our guest. See, this guest goes by the maxim, anything can be sold. And if you don't know it how, I can tell you. Let me repeat it for the benefit of everyone. Anything can be sold, and if you don't know how, let me tell you now. And he lives by this statement, and he loves taking sales challenges every now and then. Needless to say, he excels in most of them, and he is able to click the sales even where most of the seasoned salesmen fail to do so. So let me not take much of your time now and introduce to our guest today. So guys, please welcome Mr. Mahesh Matnani. Mahesh is a leader, coach, and a trainer par excellence. He has been associated with corporate world for more than 20 years now, and he has moved through the ranks from sales to learning and development. And 2 years back, he started with his own entrepreneurial journey. So Mahesh, welcome to our show, and thank you very much for giving your time and gracing us in spite of your busy schedule. So thanks, Mahesh. Mahesh, to start the discussion, why don't you give us a brief introduction? Although I know a lot about you, let us, our viewers also know.
Okay, for the sake of viewers, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Mahesh Matnani, and I started with a job which everybody dreams of. It was a government job, bank job. And Lalit, 7 months down the line, I started feeling bored, and I said, no, boss, this is not my cup of tea. So I joined a private company, that too in sales. And everybody on earth started telling me that this guy has gone berserk.
Right.
I said, okay. So October end, I joined, and March next year, I was declared All India Superstar. Now, All India Superstar means that number one in sales on all parameters. So there were a lot of people who commented, "Ki number one, anybody can become through fluke. To maintain that is very difficult." I said, boss, I got only 6 months. Let me get a full year, then I'll show you. Next year, I had around 726% growth.
My goodness.
And everybody in the company was shocked. So my product manager wanted to work with me. My training manager wanted to work with me. they all were actually shocked that how this guy is doing it when others who are in the field for 10 years, 8 years, 5 years are not able to do it. And once you are successful in sales, lot many other sales companies come and start poaching you.
Right.
So there was one of the biggest multinationals from UK who actually were successful in poaching me. That time I had offers from 7 different companies and all 7 were multinationals. I joined that company. Again, in the very first year, I was number 1, and next 8 years, nobody was able to displace me.
That's phenomenal.
And the difference between first and second position used to be like enormous.
Great.
So one day my boss said that since you are so good at sales and you have been proving it, why don't you come into sales training and train us how you do it? I said, I don't mind. So that is how I moved into training. I started with sales training, moved into behavioral training, leadership training, management training. But I enjoy most is sales training.
Right.
You will ask me why. The sales training gives you immediate results, and the pleasure is like delivering a baby. Because you can see your results in front of you.
Right.
So that is my brief introduction.
Thank you, Mahesh. So since I know how much passionate you are about sales, and so today's, this session, we are going to talk about sales a lot. And, for the benefit of our audience viewers, we would like to help them, since most of our audience comprise of the young people who struggle through it, and you have decoded this mystery as I put it. So let's start. How do we define sales?
See, sales is basically convincing somebody about your ideas. And in turn, you are able to give him your ideas, and sometimes you are able to get money also. Like taking permission from your parents for a movie during college is also sales.
Correct.
And selling a product to a HNI who says I know it all is also sales. So basically what happens is you are selling your idea to the other person so that he buys it without any objection.
Correct. So it can be a product, an idea, or anything. Basically, you are selling an idea.
It can be anything. Yeah.
An idea about anything. So some people say that sales is an art, while some say it is very structured, it is science. What are your views on that?
See, I believe that if you follow the process that is structure, it becomes an art. So you enjoy your work and it becomes one of the best masterpieces of the world.
Okay, so we can put it that this: when you structure it, it becomes a science. But once you execute it, it's an art. How you execute it is an art, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, see, you would, since you have also worked at the front end, at the ground level, and you have interacted with the front end sales people also. So, in your opinion, what are the most common mistakes which a sales guy makes, because of which they are not able to close a sale, or they struggle it out?
Okay, that's a very interesting question. I'll start with one word. See, when we are doing sales, we are basically doing business.
Correct.
And if you see the spelling of business, you always comes before I.
Very true.
But what happens, most of the salespeople, they try to bring I before you. They go for their targets, they go for their selfish goals and try to sell it.
Right.
So the customer is not in front. The salesperson becomes in the front.
Right.
And the second mistake, which almost every salesperson, including me, does, is talking more.
Right.
All salespeople feel that if I talk more, I'll sell more.
Right.
It's entirely opposite. You have to talk less, ask questions. If you are asking proper questions and listening to answers of the customer, you can generate the need very fast.
Right. So just for the benefit of our viewers, if we put it, if you give a structure to what you just said, it wants to assess the need of the customer instead of being desperate to click a sale which is beneficial to you.
Yeah.
So we need to understand what the customer needs, what the customer wants, and then approach the customer accordingly. And second is to assess that need. We need to listen more to the customer rather than just blurting out whatever there is in our mind and the preparation which we have. Great points, Mahesh. Thank you. The next question would be, see, if we want to put sales process in a structure, so what could that structure be? What are the various steps involved?
See, when we are talking about the mistakes, I wanted to point out one more mistake which comes under structure also.
Okay.
That is CCP.
And what is that?
CCP means you should have knowledge about the company you work for, the people at top levels, the competition, and the product.
Okay.
Most of the people enter the customer's chamber without knowing about CCP. Now what happens is when a customer says, "Yeah, your MD is a good friend of mine. His name is Mr. Ashutosh." Now this guy is thinking, who is Ashutosh or who is MD? So the customer loses credibility on this guy. He says whether he's from that company or he's from a third party, he's come with the name of that company, he does not know people at higher level. Similar thing happens when you don't know the product.
Correct.
So if you don't know about the product, what will you talk? People keep on talking about features of the product.
Right.
So to start with, the first step which we should know is CCP. That is company, competition, and product.
Great. Yeah.
The second step is when we are meeting the customer, we should qualify the customer whether he has a name. Name does not mean what is his name. Name is NAM.
Okay.
And N stands for need, A stands for authority, and M stands for money.
Okay.
So if he has all these three things, then only you meet him.
Okay.
Because when we are doing high value sales, lot of the times this guy says, "Arey, my father takes the decision or my brother takes the decision. I don't have an authority. मैं तो घर में सबसे छोटा हूँ." Then what do?
Right. Then you are not meeting the right person.
Yeah. No, you are meeting the right person, but the right person also can accompany him. This guy has got a need, but no authority.
Correct.
To spend money. He may have money, but not the authority to spend money. Sometimes we just go and make a call and the person says, "Yaar, paisa nahi hai. I don't have money." So the sales guy gets frustrated. So these are two steps which I should be doing before going for a sales call.
Okay, so CCP and NAM. Yeah, so interesting acronyms, I must say. And even myself being a sales guy, I have heard about these things for the first times. Great. So out of these two, any other steps which are there? Which you would like to,
So now he's going to start a sales call. So before moving out, he should look himself in the mirror and ask only one question: would I buy from this guy who is in the mirror? So he can check his grooming, he can check his credibility, he can check his post. If all three are good, then only he should enter the customer's chamber.
Right.
So then comes introduction. Lot of people don't pay attention to introduction. They just say their name in such a way. They give a visiting card, whatever is in their pocket.
True.
And when the customer gives them the visiting card, they actually start playing with it.
Right. Correct. I have noticed that thing, and in fact, you feel offended once customer does so.
Yeah. So if customer is feeling offended, when you are there and you play with customer's visiting card, he would also be.
Correct.
So after that, you start the call, and what I said earlier was talk less, ask questions. This does not mean that you have to interrogate him. You have to ask him permission. "Sir, I have come to give you a product which you need. Just to find out how it will match your needs, can I ask you some questions?" So if you have taken that permission, the customer will not get irritated when you are asking questions.
Right.
And we call this development of the sales call.
Right.
Once you establish the need, propose a solution, handle any objections which are there, and ask for a close.
Correct.
And closing does not mean end of the sale. It means a new beginning of a relationship.
Right.
So always maintain relationship once you have achieved the sales.
Great. So if for the benefit of our viewers, if we want to summarize, so how many steps are there in the sales? So we have two, which I understand. One was CCP, another was NAM, and then so total 4 steps, 5 steps. How many can we summarize?
After that, 5 more steps.
5 more steps are there.
Yeah.
Right. So total, we can say that it's a 7-step process.
7-step process,
which starts with your pre-call or pre-sales preparation, and then ends towards the post-sales, which is the service part, which we are talking about, the post-sales.
Service part, sometimes what happens, customer has difficulty. When he calls the salesperson, he says, boss, I have told the customer care, they will talk to you.
Correct.
Now, customer does not know customer care. He knows you. For him, you are the company. You tell him, sir, I'll speak to customer care and tell the guy to come and meet you. And if possible, I'll also come with him.
Yes. See, as you rightly said, now when the salesperson is going, in his mind, he is looking for an immediate benefit. So his immediate benefit is closing the sale, achieving the target, and move away. And since once that target is met, the customer becomes worthless for him or her. And that is what I think the biggest mistake is there. And then you lose the chance of a repeat sale or a reference, which could be there, depending upon the product. Rightly said. So out of this, if given a choice, which is the most important step according to you?
See, all steps are equally important. It is like you are riding in a car and all 4 tires, if there is less air in any tire, the driving will become difficult. So all these 7 pillars are equally important. Especially, I feel objection handling and closing or asking for the sale. Lalit, you will be surprised. 80 statistics says this. I am not saying this. 80% of the people do everything in the sales call, but they don't ask for close. They don't ask for order. They say customer is convinced, he'll give automatically. And because they're scared of hearing a no. If I ask, if the customer says no, then what? So they don't ask for it.
Correct.
So if they'd asked, they would have got it.
So in today's lingo, which is very prevalent, it's CTA, call to action.
Yeah.
So that is what is required so that customer goes ahead and buys your product.
Yeah.
Right, sir. So I agree. So all these steps are important, and each step has its own importance at its time. So before going to sell, pre-sales preparation is very, very important.
Very important.
And likewise, all these steps have their importance. Rightly said, sir. So Mahesh, my next question would be, you are known for your sales skills. Can you share an example where you pitched in and you were able to click a sale while others have failed to? Just to inspire and motivate our viewers.
There are lots and lots of examples, right from life insurance to I worked in automobiles, I worked in telecom, I worked in life insurance, I worked in pharmaceuticals. So I'll share a very beautiful incident with you. I was sitting with one of the dealers in my early days.
Great.
And this dealer said, boss, whenever we have ordered in your company, the things expire, they don't move. And ultimately we get a credit note, no interest, 2 years wasted. So he said, you do one thing, I've got these 20 products. Even if you bring order of 5, any 5, I'll give you order of your choice. Lalit, I started next day at 10 a.m. By 3:30, I had finished whatever goods were at his place through ordering. And I went to him and told him, please supply these first. So he said, I can't supply, my whole shop will be empty. I said, you are a dealer, yaar. You said, bring orders of 5. I'll give you order. Now do one thing, book a trunk call, because that time there were no mobile phones.
Right.
So he booked the trunk call to the depot. He called up and gave order whatever I wanted.
But how did you do that?
See, I started with the opinion builders of the town. I had already done CCP. So I went to these people and asked him, sir, why don't you buy these products? I went to head of the department surgery. I asked him, sir, why don't you write this product? He said, it's my favorite, but it is not available. And I was prepared for the situation because I had done the research. I opened my bag, took out 20 bottles of that, small vials, gave it to him. I said, sir, see, here people are not that educated. You do one thing, whenever you are writing this prescription to anyone, just give this bottle to him.
Okay.
And tell him, buy exactly the same, don't buy anything else. Because there are a lot of Me Too products available in the market.
Right.
Today, if you want to buy a chocolate drink, in my time also there were 5 chocolate drinks. And the shopkeeper was fond of giving on which he had maximum margin.
Correct.
So when this villager goes and tells him, I want this only. And if I am standing on the shop or the dealer is nearby, this guy rushes to the dealer to buy that product. He says, 5 minute ruk, I'll just go to the godown and bring it.
Right.
So that is how it worked for me. And I always felt that want of the person is more important. Now let's take a pediatrician.
Right.
Whoever meets a pediatrician always gives products, knowledge about products to him, which is for pediatrician only. Now he's a grown-up guy. His kid is in 12th standard. His daughter is 19 years old. So he sometimes feels confused. When I need medicine for my kids, I have to go and buy because everybody is giving me infant medicine.
Correct.
So I used to ask him, sir, do you have any requirement for your family? So I'll not give you this, what everybody gives you. I'll give you what is your requirement to test.
Correct.
So that you can test the efficacy of the product. Similarly to the doctor who has very young kids, but he's a gastroenterologist, everybody will give him all the antacids and other things.
Correct.
And he has a 6-month-old kid or a 3-month-old kid. So I used to ask him, sir, for your kid, do you need any tonics? So what used to happen is rapport building was very fast. But this happens only once you have done CCP. If you have not done CCP, you will not know how old are his kids, what products he uses.
Right.
There are a lot of examples from automobile industry, life insurance industry. In life insurance, what happened? There was this lady who said there's a customer who does not give appointment only.
Yes, it happens.
And he's from South Africa, and after a month he's going to leave. He's an NRI.
Right.
And I had always dreamt that I'll become MDRT if he gives me a check. I said, what are you expecting from him? She said, he is a very high net worth individual. I said, okay, can I try? So I took number from her, called the number and said, sir, I've got something very interesting for you, which will be helpful for you. And I just need 5 minutes to come and discuss with you. If you don't like, there is no compulsion to buy anything from me. Can we just meet for 5 minutes? He said, okay, 6:30 in the evening, I have time. Otherwise, I'm not free for next 20 days. Now, what happens? Salespeople, they say 6:30, my time is till 6. So they start avoiding. I said, sir, I will be right there at 6:30. So with this lady, I reached that guy at 6:25. He said, yeah, please come. So we started talking and then I told him, see, this is life insurance. This helps your kids in case something happens to you. So he said, do you know how much property I have? I said, no. He said, I've got 500 crores worth of property. I said, excellent, sir. Sir, did you build that property on your own? He said, no, my father actually had built it. I'm just maintaining it. I'm trying to make my reach a little bigger in the terms of property.
Right.
From 500 to 600 crores. I said, great. Now, sir, tell me who is a better salesman, you or your wife? So he said, I am. I said, okay. I said, sir, now something happens to you, you die. Now you said your wife will sell the property. And right now you said your wife is not that good salesman.
Right.
So would she get 600 crores or would she get less? Because it will be a property which everyone knows that she needs money. So people start with 200 crores for a 600 crore property. Am I right, sir? He said, yes. I said, sir, but if she gets the money to survive the way she's living right now, what will happen? Will she sell the property? He said, no.
Right.
And whenever she gets a chance, when the property prices are very good, if she sells it, that would be beneficial. Second thing, in India, or being an Indian, we don't buy properties to sell. We always add it and pass to the next generation.
Right.
He said, that is very right. I said, sir, so what I am asking for? Just 1.5 lakh rupees a month, which is peanuts for you. He said, do you accept monthly? I said, start with quarterly. He took out his checkbook without even asking me what are the benefits he'll get, or because this lady had tried to talk to him about mar jaoge to itna milega and if you survive this much. So he said, okay, I trust you and the way you have put the solution, it's an excellent solution. This is the check. And that lady became MDRT.
My goodness. So this is an excellent example, I must say, of objection handling and then clicking the sale at the same time, because I know insurance is a very push product. So mostly you have to push that, create a need, and then of course convince a customer to buy it, and which you rightly did. Most of the HNI customers come up and they say that this is my net worth. So even if something happens to me, God forbid, I am well covered. So this point which you made is an excellent one. And I am sure if our sales guys try to explain to the customer and reason in a way which you just explained, there is no way the sales doesn't happen. Excellent, Mahesh. Really appreciate. So I especially like this insurance example, because insurance, I myself know how difficult it is to sell.
I am sorry to interrupt. I used to challenge people, if you are not able to sell, just take me there.
Yes.
And you will not believe, if the customer is genuine, the call used to be closed. If they create the customer just to put somebody down, then it is difficult to close the call.
So that it takes us to the initial part of our discussion, where you rightly mentioned that listen to the customer, understand his, and then pitch your product rather than just pushing it कि आप मर जाओगे क्या होगा. So if you talk in that language, you can't sell insurance, that's for sure. So true. Just for the benefit of everyone, since sales is a vast subject, we all know, if some top 5 tips have to be given, so what could be the 5 tips which a salesperson should keep in mind while going to meet a customer? Top 5 according to you.
See, we have discussed almost everything, but the best thing is, which can actually give you success, is talk less, listen more, try to ask questions after taking permission from the customer, and the last one is ask for a close. See, you went to the customer because you wanted that sale,
right?
And if you don't ask for, why did you go there?
Correct. So 3 tips which I understood: listen to the customer, wait for the right opportunity, ask the questions politely without offending and being investigative or interrogative, and then once you have got a fair amount of idea, go ahead and pitch your product. So simple 3 steps. Great, Mahesh. Nowadays, Mahesh, as you would have also seen, there is a lot of talk about digital product and services. So just what's your view on that? Is it different to sell a digital product or a service than as compared to a physical product or the traditional conventional product which we have been selling so far? or the process remains same?
See, when we started this interaction, I simply told you that whatever happens, selling an idea or convincing other person for your idea is sales.
Right.
So it does not matter whether it's a digital product, physical product, or service, anything you are giving, you have to follow these steps.
Right. So
Listen
basic
to the
fundamentals, remains the same.
Yes.
That one. The mode of delivery can be different. So earlier it used to be face-to-face interaction. Now in this post-COVID scenario, we are interacting more digitally. So the mode of
Yes.
delivery has changed. The essence, the fundamentals remains the same. Yeah. Thank
And
you.
have conviction in the product,
Yeah.
your product, have confidence and be enthusiastic.
Right. So that's very, very important. You should love your product more than anyone else, and before going to
Yes.
the customer.
And you should be possessive about it.
Correct. So thank you very much, Mahesh, for the insights. Now coming to you, what all services you are offering currently, just in case someone
See,
interested?
I practically train people on sales
Okay.
leadership programs.
Okay.
But I told you in the beginning also, I enjoy training people on sales.
Right.
Because people have a disbelief when you tell them that I can sell it if you're not selling.
Right.
And once you show them the way, it is actually a help for them.
Right.
You are actually helping your customers. I offer these services to people just to help them
Right.
during this arena. And what happens is, once they learn, instead of giving him a fish, if I try to teach him how to fish, that is always more beneficial. Though it's a very old saying which everybody would have heard of.
Yeah.
And
Showing
once
the
you
technique.
train him on, yeah.
Correct. That is very, very important. So in the current scenario, are you doing any digital sessions or virtual sessions? Have you moved to that, or still it's so? If someone wants to reach out, what are the various modes they can utilize your services?
See, I actually am doing a lot of trainings through Zoom and Team.
Okay.
Team is Google's software. So I'm doing a lot of trainings through that.
Okay, so MS Teams, so Microsoft Teams you are using.
Yeah,
I think most of the
Microsoft Team,
corporates are using the Teams.
Yeah.
And Zoom
And
is using
Zoom
these other
also.
things. Yeah.
And after that training, if there are problems which people are facing, they can connect with me on phone directly.
Yeah. Right, sir. Great. So just for the viewers' benefit, we will be giving the details in our description box for further details and how to contact it. So Mahesh, before we sign off, any parting words of wisdom from your side for the benefit of everyone?
See, I'll just say one thing. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. The wheel is already there. Just follow that process and enjoy the ride on the wheel. If you try to reinvent the wheel, your whole life will be spoiled. It's always good to learn from experience rather than you experimenting for next 10 years and then discovering something and learning that.
Great, Mahesh. Thank you very much. And it was a very interesting session. And although myself, I am a sales guy throughout, I also get new insights and learning while interacting with you. And I am sure viewers have equally enjoyed. Thank you very much. And thanks again.
Pleasure.
So guys, if you have not subscribed the channel, please do it now. Thanks. Take care. Bye-bye.